of instituting communism, socialism, and it is destructive. It's atheistic. It never goes hand in hand with the Judeo-Christian ethic and the understanding of man and of God and of creation. And so Marx just got it wrong. But he got it wrong because he was seeing something that was right. And you can understand that if you examine his writings and examine what's going on. So the Marxist ideology, of which we're seeing right now being used continuously to control, to get power. We see a racist, a race-based Marxism. We see a gender and sex-based Marxism. Of course, we see the economic Marxism. We see this going on. And isn't it amazing that the elites, the oligarchy, never seem to resist this Marxist effort by the government? Well, why would they? Because they're in bed with the government. Now, I would say this, that any good student of history, it doesn't matter if you looked at the Russian Revolution, it doesn't matter if you looked at the Chinese communist takeover, if you looked at what took place in Cambodia, if you took place what looked in Venezuela, the elites, the inside group, those behind the walls, amazingly always seem to, the intellectuals, will go along with Marxists, will go along with communists and their march to take power, believing that it's it's the cool thing to do, it's the inner group thing to do. But amazingly, whenever Marxists take power, whenever communists take power, the first people they have to purge are the intellectuals. The first people they have to purge are the media types. The first people they have to purge is that group, the useful idiots that got them into power. That's the first people they purge. Because you see, they understand that the same people they use to get themselves in power are the same people who will begin to expose them once they realize that the power that they've helped these people gain is destructive. And so they have to take out those the useful idiots who got them into power. So what we see right now is this monopoly of big tech in bed with government. Let's talk about Build Back Better for a minute. Of course, the joke is it's Build Back Broke. And that's probably true, but it has a more nefarious underpinning for me. And it's the same. Look, I wouldn't care if you're a Republican rhino or if you're a Democrat socialist. Like, I don't really care what you are. When your governmental budget is based on lining the pockets of your partners in business, when you're using the government treasury to enrich the friends that are going to put you back in power, that's called corruption. And I don't care who is supporting. That's called corruption. And so corruption needs to be fought. And so right now what we have is we have a government out of control, and it's out of control with cronyism. I mean, how many times did Joe Biden run for president as a senator before he finally got installed, right? How long does one need a Schumer or as we just lost Harry Reid? Like the mafia type influence that they wield in business and in government and in their home districts and states, the mafia like influence that they exert and enrich themselves. A public servant, you get as rich as you want in America, I could care less. But if you get rich off of buying politicians, or if you get rich as a politician making corrupt moves for your supporters, then you need to be taken down, bottom line. So we saw in 2016 what's termed politically as a populist movement. But it was a movement of the villains. So let me remind you of some language. I want to get back to this villain thing. You need to understand how powerful this is in this understanding within the social elites. Does anybody remember back during a 2012 election, in 2011 I think it was, might have been early 2012, when a Barack Obama, goodness, it might have been all the way back in his first campaign. I'm going to have to Google that, and we'll see here. Does anybody remember when Barack Obama in Pennsylvania talked about those people who cling to their guns and Bibles, their antipathy, they said, to others not like them. So somehow they connected having faith in God and believing in the right to self-defense and the Second Amendment. They connect that with an antipathy for others not like them. Now, what he was saying was those Villanis out there, those villagers, those rubes, those country folk, those villains. You see, that's all they were saying. Well, fast forward a little bit. You say, well, okay, you might be reading too much into that, Eric. I don't think that's really what was going on there. You think that, do you really believe that Obama was trying to paint country people as villains? Yes, because nothing's changed for thousands of years. But let me go ahead and fast forward a little bit to 2016. And there was this moment where Hillary Clinton called us deplorables, those deplorables. Well, she wanted to say villains, but she couldn't say villains because that wouldn't have played right in the media. So they had to come up with another term, and they always do come up with another term. Those who cling to their guns, cling to their Bibles, deplorables. My friends, understand something. What they're saying is villains, Villanis, country people, regular people. They're saying just the average workaday people are the villains of their story. And they don't understand why we don't agree with them. We don't understand why we don't just think like they do in their socialite world and their martini evenings. And they just don't get why we don't agree with them. Why do we like soccer games for our kids? Why do we want to control the school boards and the education of our children? Why do we simply want the freedom to not have the federal government on our back to be able to start a barber shop or an auto repair company? Why do we have a tax code? Why does the IRS come after conservative organizations, businesses, and people? Why does the government come after a flower shop or a baker who simply says, I worship the Lord and I don't want to participate in lifestyles that my God does not allow me to participate in? Why does the federal government feel like it needs to come after those? Well, you see, they need to come after you because you're the villain. Why do we have a tax code that's so complicated, so large, and so unwieldy that only the corporations that can hire bevies of lawyers and attorneys to negotiate through the tax code? Why is that code set up for them and not us? Well, I'll tell you why, because we're the villains of the story. And right now, people say, well, people say, in my role as Pastor Eric, why are you running for office? Why do you want to go to Washington, D.C.? Well, I'm going to tell you why I want to go to Washington, D.C. Because I'm tired of people going up there that are supposed to represent me and they want to rule me. I'm tired of people not going up there and arresting the hand of the federal government instead of trying to unleash the hand of the federal government in my life and my children's life. I'm running because I want my children to be free to worship the Lord. I want them free to live out their lives. I want them to be able to take the God-given talent in their minds, the hard work of their hands, and I want them to be able to prosper in this nation. You see, I'm tired of people going up there and drowning in the swamp instead of going up there to walk on water. You see, people of faith, we get out of the boat and we walk on water. Oh, we sink now and again, but there the Lord is to lift us up. And then people say, well, you're a pastor. Why are you getting involved in politics? I'm not getting involved in politics. I'm doing what every good shepherd should do. I'm standing up for sheep. I'm beating back wolves. And I've done it for over 20 years right here in this town. And now I feel like it's my time and it's your time to stand up and fight against those who would call you the villain of the story. Because the truth is, you're not the villain. You're the hero. You, the American people. You're the ruler of your destiny. You're the one that gets to decide, do I keep sending people up there that want to be a part of the social elite? Or are we going to send up there regular old Americans that want to fight for truth, for freedom, fight for us? That's the choice. I don't know about you, but me and my children, my church, my home, my community, my town, my county. We're not the villains of the story. No, no, no. We're the heroes of the story. We, the American people. It's we, the people. Created, given God-given inalienable rights, not by government, but by God. You're not the villain. You're the hero. Make sure that you elect representatives that want to go there and fight for you and not join them in the fight against you. God bless you and God bless America. I love you, and we'll see you soon.